United Nations says more than 165,000 people in South Sudan have been uprooted from their homes over the past 3 months by fighting between the army and local militia groups in the Upper Nile state. The UN says 65,000 newly internally displaced people are struggling to access humanitarian aid due to movement restrictions. And so, for the past month, Fogbao has delivered more than 250 metric tons of maize flour, beans, and salt to people in Nasser City.
The plan for this project is to take up to 600 metric tons to drop them in Upper Nile.
The UN has been delivering emergency food airdrops in South Sudan since 2012. Fogbao says it's offering an alternative by using its military experience to offer solutions for complex logistics challenges.
And we try to use those experience to add to the humanitarian efforts that are already going around the world. So we will do our best to cover down, if you will, on all the new requests, but it's very difficult because there's not a lot of funding out there, and a lot of institutions that have been around for decades, going back to the 60s, like USAID, don't exist anymore.
Last year, the US-run company airdropped food aid to Gaza and Sudan, but the global aid community has concerns.
That is not humanitarian aid, and that's not what humanitarian means. Giving a party to the conflict the power over who receives the aid and where and from whom, it turns this aid and this relief into a tool of coercion, and it blurs the line between humanitarian assistance and military objectives.
South Sudan government says foreign aid cuts led it to contract Fogbao, arguing that there are some places in the Upper Nile area it cannot reach.
So now here is a government taking up responsibility as a core mandate of that government. I don't see any reason why any UN agency would be having a complaint that we need to be part of these implementations. It's just purely simple core responsibility of a sovereign state deciding based on the charter itself. I think this is very clear.
But critics allege the state-controlled aid drops blur the lines of neutrality, which both Fogbao and the government deny. In spite of the issues, those who can are turning to these controversial food drops to survive another day. Rahul Radhakrishnan, TRT World.